What is up, everybody? This is not the Hump Day Hangout. This is the halftime hangout of Thursday Night Football. We have a very busy and exhausted Basham this week. So glad he could join us. What's going on?
Not too much. Just sitting here watching the Thursday night game. Luck started out on fire. I'm playing Billy this week. It was looking bad. My man Andre Johnson, though, who the only player that I have playing tonight, found the end zone. So I'm feeling pretty good about my matchup. At the start of the game, I was a little bit depressed, but now things are starting to look up a little bit. So I'm in a pretty good mood right now.
Oh, that's good to hear. Just for our viewers out there, this prima donna, notice I didn't call him the world's greatest co-host today. He had to get home and watch the league and shower and shave, do all his various other things before squeezing this in the last moment. But he's here, and that's what matters. So let's roll right on to helmet stickers and butt fumbles. And I'll start us off. I want to give Catco a helmet sticker. Nice defense of your team. I like the in-depth post. Always great to talk fantasy football arguments, and I like to think I won it, but he put up a good fight.
Yeah, I happened to think about jotting that one down in my notes. That was very nice of him to do. I always like seeing some people post things on the message board. I'm always on that fantasy football homepage, and I just constantly see the same things, like transactions on Wednesday. I look for something new to pop up, and it's always just the transactions. So it was nice to see Cat go pop in there and give, paragraphs of his analysis, and I always love seeing that. My helmet sticker goes to Matt Vey and yourself for basically being the only two people that put any participation into my ballsy bets. You're taking a lot of my money. It's honestly not a lot, but you're taking some money of mine. But it's still nice to have some people participating in that, and just it kind of spices up Thursday night, Saturday, Sundays. And then Mondays, being able to root for other people, certain players that might be involved in bets.
Yeah, I really love the new segment you came up with, the ballsy bets, because it's super easy for me to participate in. It takes literally 5 seconds of thought, and I can put some money on the line. So I like it a lot. Catco hasn't accepted my bet board bet that I put up in our debate. That's a little disappointing, but oh well. So let's see what I got. Oh, helmet sticker to Jay automatically for dealing Matt Asiata. That's a helmet sticker in my book every day of the week. Moving on, butt fumble to Jay, who outsmarted himself with the free agent dollars once again. $10 for Antoine Smith or Antone Smith. Nobody else bid a single dollar. That guy is not any type of running back that's built for a lot of carries. He's small, and sure, he's explosive, but he's never had more than 4 touches in a game this season. So I don't know the logic behind that.
I actually have that in my pickups that stand out going forward. There was actually somebody that did put $1 on them, though. I think
my bad.
Might have been Nick Clark. But yeah, like, what did he do last week? Like, he's obviously had, like, double-digit points the past 3 weeks, but it's just all off of big plays. And like you said, the most touches he got's 4, and he only had 4 in the last game. So what justifies all of a sudden exploding out for $10 on him?
Yeah.
I thought that was, I agree with you. It was ridiculous.
I mean, he's an awesome real-life player.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, but, the fantasy's different.
Right. That whole fiasco in Atlanta with their backfield, their super running back by committee is you can't predict who's going to bust out at any point in time.
Right.
My first butt fumble also goes to Jay. He's just getting torn apart tonight. He was attempting this auctioning off of RG3 all day, and then he sent a group text to it involved me, him, Nick Clark, Catgo, Jeff, maybe one other person. So the bidding started. He said that he had a number in mind, and he said, "All right, let's start the bidding." And I think Jeff started out with $1. Billy might have went 2. Catgo accidentally typed 4 instead of 3. And then, hours went on, and Jay said, "Oh, is that it?" And Billy said, 3.5 is, a joke. And then Jay basically said, Catco said, "Can I rescind my offer of 4 to go back down to 3? And Jay said, "Well, nobody came up with the number that I was thinking anyhow, so the bet's off." And I'm thinking in my head, you were auctioning him. You put a bidding war. So how an auction works is the highest bidder gets him. And then Jay said, well, if you look back to what I said I have a number in mind. That was basically the floor. And I said, all right, well, you should have just said, this is the number I'm looking for. Does anybody want it? If they don't, then just, why waste everybody's time with this bidding war? So I thought it was funny. He totally dropped the ball with this whole bidding war idea that he had and this whole auction idea that he had. I think he ended up getting something with CatGo I saw in an email.
Yeah.
How much did he end up getting him for?
$7.
$7. Okay. But yeah,
I mean,
it was
yeah.
a butt fumble for the whole auctioning off idea. You handled it completely wrong, Jay.
And by the way, butt fumble because now that trade looks even more pitiful because now you got Asiano, Woodhead, and $7.
That's a good point. That's a good way to look at it.
I can't even handle it. I don't get me started on that trade. But to his credit, his team's actually shaping up somehow. I don't know how he's polishing that turd, but he's doing it very well. Are we ready to move on from those? Or you got any more?
I just have one quick one. I talked last week about Matt Vey picking up Matthews, then dropping him. He put $5 on Matthews, dropped him last week, put $4 on Wright. This week drops Wright, who he put $4 on, for Marvin Jones for $2. So essentially, this week he's getting Marvin Jones for what's that add up to? $11. Butt fumble.
Well, I thought he bid way more on Jairus Wright or Jairus Wright.
Maybe he did.
But Ponder played, not Teddy, who was feeding him. So why wouldn't you hold on and watch him another week?
Right.
I was going to talk about that later in the pickup segment, but I mean Marvin Jones is out again. He re-injured himself, and that happened before Matt Vey picked him up. So that is a head scratcher, definitely.
Yeah.
So not a lot of big news on the helmet sticker and butt fumble front, but there is a lot to talk about nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move. Oh, one more thing. ESPN had a stat correction. Alex Smith just got deducted a touchdown today.
Yes.
It turned into a rushing touchdown by Nick Clark's boy, DeAnthony Thomas.
I saw it.
Jeff's score looks even worse. And Billy got bumped up 2 points. His quarterbacks each gained 1. So ESPN stat corrections really bother me because I have to go back and change the stats spreadsheets. So maybe a butt fumble to ESPN for that.
Yeah.
But moving on, who had the best week? I'm going to say Jay. Any week where Jay is piling up another win is automatically the best week because none of this should be happening. He's tied. Actually, he has 10 more points than me, which is the second highest scorer in the league. I don't know how this is happening, but I hope he enjoys it because I still have a feeling it's not going to last.
Yeah, poor Jay. The kid just can't win on our talk show. He's getting no love in our pick'em, but somehow that kid is just taking our league by storm, and he just wins week in and week out. I don't know what's going on, but hey, he's winning, and that's what gets you to the playoffs in our league.
Yep. You got anything for best week, or you want me to keep going?
No, let's just keep on going.
All right, second for best week was Sterner, by the way. He was definitely in contention. Beating Billy was pretty big in that division. So anyway, worst week, I have Nick Clark. He's fourth in scoring, but he's ninth in the standings. He's just falling further behind. He's only 1 win out of third place and 2 wins behind you for that second playoff spot. So all hope is not lost, but it's just discouraging. Second place, there's Jeff. He had another rough week. Monty Ball got hurt. He dropped 1 and 4. Calvin Johnson, but his worst week was last week, so I didn't want to use him again. Any more thoughts on last week for you? We're going to trudge along.
Nothing big. I thought that it was big for Polino getting another win.
Yep.
It's that hole that he's in. Now he's racking up these wins, and his team's looking up. So any win that he gets is detrimental to the rest of the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I put in the power rankings that Polino was first in scoring if you exclude week 1. I'm pretty sure that was the stat. So you've been abusing me all this time about really liking Polino's team, and here we are. I was right all along.
Yeah.
I love to rub it in your face. So how about we talk trades and pickups? I think pretty much the only thing left is the Catco and Jay trade. Give me some thoughts.
Well, Jay got Vereen and Hunter. Catco got your boy Asiata and Steve Smith. Um, I actually think Catco got the better here. I know you hate Asiata, but I think Catco got the better deal. Just because you know exactly what you're getting with Asiata week in and week out. He's going to get the bulk of the workload. I know McKinnon's been on the rise, but I think they still trust Asiata more in pass pro and all that sort of thing. And he gets catches out of the backfield. He scores touchdowns. He's solid. Whereas Vereen, he's such a headache to deal with. That the New England backfield, you never know what's going to go on, who's going to get carries, who's going to get more snaps. So Vereen, I just basically don't want any parts of. Hunter, you have to deal with that crappy quarterback situation in Tennessee, and he really relies on the big play. He's pretty much the definition of feast or famine. Whereas Steve Smith, he's been consistent. He's playing like a man possessed. He's really going out and proving things. So I think that Catco actually got the better part of the deal here.
All right. I mean, I said everything I really have to say about it, but
Yeah.
I mean, Asiata and Smith, their value's not going to go up at all. It's at its peak.
See, that's where I was kind of at. I think you know what you're getting, and I think they're
But
gonna.
you don't. I mean, Asiata's going downhill for sure, and he already wasn't very high. And Steve Smith, the same thing. They're already talking about Torrey Smith getting more involved. It's not like the Ravens are this pass-heavy, crazy team. Steve Smith, I mean, he's so old. The season's going to drag on. He gets hurt a lot. People seem to like completely forget that. His touchdowns have been really lucky. He's a small guy. He's not like a touchdown machine. Um, so I'm just not a fan. And Vereen, you guys are like being such big drama queens about him. I mean, Vereen was a hot commodity coming into this season, and Ridley was always in the picture last year and this year. So Vereen is just so much more explosive, and I feel like his floor is really not that much lower than Asiata's ceiling on most weeks. The Patriots were just in a funk, and now that they're back out of it, I just don't foresee Vereen being as bad as he was the first couple weeks. So, moving on, unless you have any other thoughts.
No, let's just move on.
All right, so I got Ruben Randall for $0. He's had 3 straight weeks of 10 targets. I consider that a steal. I don't care about Odell Beckham coming back. I think it only helps the Giants' offense. They're going to keep making plays, keep getting to the end zone. And Cruz and Odell Beckham are not big targets. They're not red zone guys. Randall is getting fed the ball in the red zone, in the end zone, and Larry Donnell is just not always going to cut it, as we saw last week. So I like that pickup for myself. A little pat on the back. Good for Billy going out and getting Hillman. I think it's a steep price, but Billy wants to win right now, and he needs running back help right now. And I think Oliver is also one that I forgot to write down, but kudos to Billy for that. A lot of people have him in their top 10 running backs for this upcoming week. So Billy really went out, fixed the problem. I like it a lot. And why don't we look to you for some other pickups maybe?
I agree with that Oliver one too. The whole Hillman thing, $28 was way too steep. You're looking at 2 weeks of him, maybe 3, before Ball's back. This week they have the Jets. And then next week I also don't think is a very pleasing matchup for a running back. So now Billy's left with only $14 going forward. Could put him in a little conundrum. And then the whole, you kind of mentioned Odell Beckham. Catco spent $10 on him. And I just really don't think that he needed him to begin with. He has Welker, he's got James Jones, he's got Steve Smith now, he has Decker on his bench, Colston on his bench. When is he really going to find space to use Beckham? And $10, anything double digits to me in Fab is just a lot. That's 10% of your budget. So that one kind of stood out to me also.
Right. I mean, he's really exciting, but I just don't know that he's going to siphon off that much. I know a lot of people are saying he's New York's best receiver, which is probably true at this point, but he's still a rookie, and he still has that slight injury concern moving forward. He's not big, so I don't know. Maybe in a 10 yards receiving, you get a point league, but Heck is just really panicking about this wide receiver thing.
Mm-hmm.
He went all in on the running backs, and now he's trying to backtrack on that. So his plan isn't as clear as it was last year, and I think some flaws are coming through. He won't appreciate me saying that, but oh well.
I agree.
How about we have? Oh, you dropped Stanton. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, now that Tannehill's out of his bye, I feel confident that Palmer's going to. If he's not back this week, I have confidence that he's going to be back the following week. So I'll be able to be good to go before Ryan's bye week in week 9, I believe. So
Well,
I'll have Tannehill and Palmer at least going forward. Tannehill doesn't have the best matchup this week with Green Bay, but if Palmer doesn't play, I can deal with that.
right. So Palmer went back to Denver for treatment today, I believe. I mean, he definitely isn't going to play this week. I can't
Yeah,
see
they're
that.
saying he's highly doubtful.
That's just weird. That situation kind of scares me.
Yeah.
So Storm Johnson, I was surprised no one else bid on him. Maybe I heard the news a little bit earlier than everyone, but it looks like he's going to get the chance to be the feature back this weekend.
Yeah, I was aware of Storm Johnson in his situation. I just didn't want anything to do with any Jacksonville Jaguars. That offensive line is atrocious. I don't care how much work he gets. I just don't trust it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, yeah, I have the Matt Bay note down. I think that's it for the pickups. How about you?
Yeah, those were the only few that I had.
I was surprised no one else wanted Matt Prater.
Yeah, in skill zone, I've been picking him up
Oh
earlier.
shit! I forgot to fill that out all week. I only
Yeah,
did one.
so
Damn it!
I've been all over Prater. I picked him up in one of my other leagues too.
All right.
But yeah, I agree. Prater, he's gonna be lighting up the scoreboards there in Detroit.
I did drop Vinatieri, who's pretty good in
Yeah,
himself, but
he's solid.
it was just exciting. So anyway, moving on. It looks like we got looming lineup decisions. Before we go into this week, you picked the selections. Let me recap last week
Yeah, yeah. Talk about that.
because I was a beast. We had Nick, Edelman, and Cooks. He went with neither. He went with Eddie Royal. And guess what option was right? Not Eddie Royal. It was Cooks, who we both picked. Kudos to us. Next, Sterner, Garcon, and Hilton. You picked Garcon. I picked Hilton. I was the overwhelming victor in that one. Next, Matt Bay, Ben Tate, and Fred Jackson. That was a close one, but you picked Tate. I picked Jackson, and I won. Um, Jay, Bortles, and Glennon. Um, I believe I won that one convincingly. Bortles did not have a good day like I predicted. And then the awesome, fun Tom Brady, Brian Hoyer one that I wish I could have seen unfold that Cleveland game. I'm sad I missed it. But Hoyer edged out Tom Brady by one, and we both picked him. So the owners this week picked Garcon, Fred Jackson, Glennon Brady, and Eddie Royal. So the owners were 2 for 3 or 2 for 5. I was 5 for 5, and you were 2 for 5. So far I'm doing pretty well for myself, and I'm excited to keep that going. So why don't you give us your lineup decisions?
All right, our first lineup decision is Jay, his quarterback conundrum. He currently has Bortles starting at Tennessee, and he has Glennon versus the Baltimore Ravens on his bench. Who are you going to go with here, JD?
Well, this is an interesting repeat of last week. So we probably can't do this every week moving forward, but you're right. It's a crucial decision as he looks to move to 5-1. And I'm going to switch my pick from last week and go Bortles. I like the matchup.
Okay. I personally am going to go with Glennon. Bortles has just looked too shaky for me. That Jaguars offense is just too shaky for me. Glennon's been solid the past 2 weeks, so I'm going to go with Glennon here.
Yeah, you could be right because I didn't get to watch any football this week, so I don't know how they actually look.
Right.
So, go on.
Number 2 here is Billy. He currently has Hillman starting at the Jets, and he has Ivory versus Denver on his bench.
All right. Well, this is my favorite one that you selected. I initially thought, wow, this is easy, Hillman. But on second thought, it was really difficult to select. And I'm going to go with Ivory. And just a little note, I also would go with both of them over C.J. Spiller as a bold prediction.
Wow. I also am going to go with Ivory here. I don't know of any running back that has done good against the Jets' run defense this year.
last week, Brandon Oliver carved him up.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking back to other, more elite running backs, and I forget who I
Well,
had. Maybe uh, like Detroit Lions.
Forte.
Yeah, Forte. Nobody's run well against them. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ivory in a more conservative pick here.
All right.
Number 3 here we have Polino. He currently has Terrence Williams starting at wide receiver. He plays at Seattle, and he also has Bolden on his bench at St. Louis. He also has Crabtree, but I just personally see Bolden as a better option than Crabtree this week.
A sorry receiver like Crabtree. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Bolden.
I also am going to go with Bolden here.
All right, I don't want to talk about that one. Really, it's not that exciting.
Okay.
But it is important. It's a good
I
selection.
mean, yeah, for him to have Terrence Williams in right now, I don't know if he's trying to just mess with us, if he knew we were going to do these lineup decisions and he just was trying to throw us off or what. But I see that as almost a no-brainer.
He definitely doesn't know we're doing the lineup decision.
Well, yeah, he never watches, but that is, I don't understand why he currently has Terrence Williams in.
Because he's a touchdown machine, supposedly, but I just think that's all luck.
Yeah. My 4th is Catgo. Okay, we're going to move to the tight end position here. He currently has Martellus Bennett starting against Atlanta, and he also has Jordan Cameron on his bench playing the Steelers.
Black unicorn, there's no doubt.
I personally am going with Jordan Cameron. Atlanta's just way too good against tight end. Bennett's fighting for targets in Chicago, so I think Cameron's the safer. He seems healthy again, so I'm going to go with Cameron.
Black unicorn is just destroying all opponents he faces. Atlanta's defense sucks.
But they play the tight end good.
Because they play everything else bad, so there's no need to throw to your tight end.
Like last week, he shut down my man Donnell.
Okay, well, they also threw the ball all over him to everyone else. They probably just wanted Donnell to block.
Right.
Anyway, that one's super no-brainer for me. I figured you were going to go with Cameron since you actually came up with the whole thing in the first place.
All right. And then my 5th and final one, and then I'm going to talk about one that I had, but this game already started. JD, you currently have your boy Rube Randall starting. He's at Philadelphia. You have Kelvin Benjamin on your bench at Cincinnati. And then I'm also going to throw in a third option. Michael Floyd from Arizona. He's playing against Washington. Who do you think you're going to end up starting?
Okay, well, Floyd is just not an option for me because I don't trust the quarterback situation. I do like Floyd once Carson comes back, but right now, not in the picture. Benjamin is obviously the safe pick. I just think most weeks he's going to get some big plays, some touchdowns. They don't really care that he drops the ball, that he makes stupid plays, because he's easily their best player on offense right now.
Yes.
So it's a tough decision, but I'm playing, getting a little fancy with the matchup, and I'm 90% sure I'm going to go with Root.
Yeah. If Palmer was active, I also would have gone with Michael Floyd here. Washington just does not play well against the pass. But I'm going to go with Benjamin. I think he just is going to get more work against Cincinnati. Randall, like we said before, Beckham's coming on now. Donnell's there. Cruz has been completely off. This may be the week that they get him going because Philly's normally pretty sorry against the pass. So I'm going to go with Benjamin, like you said, as a safer pick.
All right.
Yeah, and then let me mention the one that I had before. Matt Vay currently has Bradshaw starting at Houston. I probably would have gone Ben Tate versus the Steelers. Any thoughts on that?
I was looking at that as well, and actually in the auction league, Willie has Ben Tate on the bench and like 5 other running backs in his lineup. And I tried to trade him for Ben Tate and give him a quarterback since he's starting bye-week Alex Smith. So I mean, Ben Tate ran all over the Steelers in week 1, so why shouldn't he now?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who else does Matt Vay have starting?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I should know this. I'm looking it up. Don't bother
Okay.
yourself. I actually have a real utensil in front of me, not an iPad. Um, so he's starting Fred Jackson and Eddie Lacy. I would have maybe taken out Fred Jackson
Yeah.
for Ben Tate.
Yeah.
But that's a good one. I wish we would have done this yesterday, so we
Right.
got done. But happy birthday to your dad, by the way.
Uh, Thanks. I'll let him know you said that.
A day late
Yeah.
and a dollar short. All right. So do you think anyone's in a must-win situation this week?
Um, I would say Nick Clark. That's an obvious one. And I would also say Catco. And that's what is going to be my game of the week.
Ah,
Um,
that's what I figured.
yeah. The Battle of the Knicks, Nick Clark versus Nick Catco. Um, I think Catco has a running back advantage here, but I think Nick Clark has the wide receiver tight end advantage. And then I'm going to give Nick Clark a slight quarterback advantage here. Um, if I was Catco, I would honestly consider starting Hoyer over Brady this week. I didn't want to do that one again, but I would consider starting Hoyer again against the Steelers. Whereas Brady, I think in the past has normally struggled against the Bills. Plus, I think it's at Buffalo. So, Catco, if you're watching, take heed to this. But yeah, my game of the week: Nick Clark versus Nick Catco, both in a must-win situation.
Yeah, Buffalo's a really underrated place to go into and win in the NFL, which you would never expect that because the Bills don't get any respect. It's a good point. Um, I think that one has the most implications, Nick and Nick. But I don't think either's a must-win. It's the week where there's five matches and they're all between the divisions. So, um, so like if Nick Clark loses, the two teams ahead of him could also lose very easily, especially Jeff. Um, Maybe Cat goes in more of a must-win situation. Um, Plus, Nick Clark has the tools to come back. Catco, I'm not sold. So I don't think anyone's really in a must-win situation, but it's definitely an important week for people. Um, and the playoff picture is starting to shape up very early in the season. I mean, it always does, just the mathematics, how it works out. But my match of the week is you and Billy. I like the firepower. You kind of have the really good running backs. He does not, but his running back matchups this week I really like. Um, and his receivers are excellent as usual. Um, you don't have Jimmy Graham, so I don't know. I found it pretty interesting. Um, I think I have Billy winning, but that's easy to say now with luck just dealing. So you guys are also two of the elders in the league, and you always put out a pretty good team, except for you the last 2 years. I haven't mentioned that in a while.
Yeah, you had to
So,
take that shot.
so I don't know. It's good to see the two elder statesmen battle it out.
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull up the schedule here. Any other brief thoughts on the upcoming week?
Really nothing on the upcoming week. I always like this week though, the whole kind of interleague, interdivision play.
Right.
It's always fun, and it's always nice to. I mean, for example, if only one of the teams in our division wins, say I'm the only team in our division that wins this week, that gives me a slight edge going forward.
That's huge.
Yeah, so it's always a fun week for me.
Yeah, they're not as big of a weeks as the ones where you play divisional opponents because those are kind of like a game and a half swing. But I like it too. I think me and Mike actually have an interesting matchup because we both have those records for consecutive playoff appearances,
Yeah.
winning seasons, and I want to keep outlasting him for those and keep him out of the playoffs with those two high-powered quarterbacks. So that's just my only thought on this week. I'm gonna have another weekend where I'm not gonna get to watch much football. Um, so that's a bummer, but I'm coming back in full force the following one, I hope. I think the last thing is I don't have anything to say about Pick'em or the fight for free entry. Nothing too important. Last week was a dud. No one picked a lot of games. Um, but now we're gonna finish it up with Bash's ballsy bets.
All right, let's lay it on them. I got 6 here. Um, my first one is both Mannings, Eli and Peyton, will throw for at least 3 touchdowns this week. Both of them.
All right.
Number 2, Des Bryant will not reach his projection, ESPN's projection, of 17 points this week. He's playing against Seattle. He's projected at 17. I definitely don't think he's going to make it.
Is that in our league?
Yeah.
Not in the league that does 10 points per, or 10 yards per?
That's in ours.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah. Number 3, somebody not named Gronk or Julius Thomas will finish the week as the number 1 tight end. So I'm taking the field here this week. Number 4, Clark's Kingdom, our division, will win the division battle. So we're going to get at least 3 wins.
All right.
In that division battle. Number 5, Jeff, Jay, or Catco will have the low score for the week. Jeff, Jay, or Catco. One of those.
All right.
And then.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say, since the Thursday night game's going on, you're accepting that everyone's going to know all of these scores, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. And then number 5, 2 teams in the NCAA top 5 will lose this week.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to throw in a little NCAA. I've been trying to do that, throw like one thing from NCAA in. Nobody's bitten on it yet, but yeah, 2 teams from the top 5 will lose this week.
I made Texas A&M the game of the week in Pick'em for you, even though the other game was what, the 2 and the 5 team?
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
So
okay.
Right there, one of the top 5 teams. I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
You're so sneaky. So who else has a tough matchup then?
Who is it? Ole Miss is playing Texas A&M at Texas A&M.
Oh, okay. So
I think Texas A&M is going to win that one. Florida State's at Syracuse. That could be a trap game also. And then
I guess
TCU is playing Baylor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
TCU's not that bad.
Right. I think they're number 9. Baylor's number 5. So a couple tough matchups there for the top 5.
All right. So I forgot to come up with a ballsy bet, but I kind of mentioned one earlier, and I'm going to say that between Oliver Hillman and Chris Ivory, 2 of them outscore CJ Spiller this week.
That's a good one. So I'll post my 6 sometime tomorrow.
Okay. Well, post mine as well, because I'm not going to be by a computer.
Okay.
And you're deputy commissioner this weekend, by the way.
That's right.
All right. So, I mean, I'll be around my phone if you need anything. But
all right.
So, anyway, quick show. I like it. That's kind of how we want it to usually be. And for someone in such a hurry, I feel like you rambled a little more than I did.
Yeah, I kind of did tonight, huh?
It just comes down to preparedness, I suppose. And you're wearing pink.
Yeah, supporting breast cancer awareness.
All right. So how much of those proceeds went to women?
0.
In the NFL, it's pretty much 0 too. Fun fact.
It was funny too. Did you watch last night's The League?
No, I haven't seen the last 2.
They kind of do stuff involving.
I'll have to catch up. I don't mind watching them all in a row because they're pretty entertaining to kind of marathon, like Netflix style.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, good solid show. Thanks for manning up and joining us, and I hope you feel fresher in the upcoming days, Mr. Sleep.
Oh my God, I absolutely do. So this is the same thing that happened to me last year. I think I went 3-0 to start the year, and then I lost to you, and I just tumbled. Same thing happened this year. I lost to you, and I'm on a 2-game losing streak now. I need to break this. I need to get the juju out. I need to get my mojo back.
Dude, I meant in real life. You say you've been exhausted lately.
Oh yeah, I have been. I'm missing Bethany's homecoming this weekend because Kate got me Eric Church tickets for my birthday. So I've just been. I feel like I'm letting my friends from Bethany down, and
oh man.
Yeah, I've had my mind scattered all over the place.
Gotcha. I thought you were implying that me beating you in fantasy football was causing you real life grief.
Well, I mean that kind of too.
I love that that's a thing. So.
Yeah.
And Dave, go ahead.
Yeah, just a note for next week's talk show. We need to. I had this written in my notes. Talk about the people that we cheer for the least.
Yeah, yeah, you were in a hurry. I have mine ready too. So
Yeah,
next week
we'll
we'll
get that
tease
next.
it. We'll tease it. So,
Yeah.
Jay, just in case you're wondering, I am standing again. So that was a big debate last show that I found that hilarious. When I watched it, I just started cracking up. Um, and I don't know how you couldn't tell, you idiot, Basham.
I can't.
Um,
I never could.
can you
I
tell
because
now?
I figured what idiot stands during a whole freaking like hour talk show.
I'm gonna be honest. I stand almost all the time on my computer because it's good for you. You're not supposed to sit. Haven't you ever read that?
Well, yeah, I understand that, but who listens to it?
Me, it's great. Try it sometime. Maybe that's why you're so tired because you
Hmm,
sit on your fat ass all day.
maybe you're right.
All right. So I gotta go. I got a early morning trip, and Basham's gotta get to school, teach all
Yep.
the youngins. Um, so it was. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you appreciate the quick time, even though we BS'd here at the end a little bit. But off we go.
Safe travels. Enjoy.